In the year 2028, the multinational corporation Omnicorp has been supplying the army with its highly advanced drones for years. These drones use scanners to instantly identify if someone is a threat or not. TV host Novik wants these robots to replace the police in American cities, but people are scared of machines and the government cannot enforce force that is emotionless. Novik invites a military officer to his show and explains his idea by providing details of each mission. Moreover, he sends a reporter to the Middle East who will broadcast the robot's work on TV. The reporter calls it a success for safety standards, as she records the robots not harming anyone who isn't a threat in the area. Meanwhile, the locals are unhappy that the robots have taken over their homes. A group of rebels sneaks in with weapons and launches a full-out attack on the robots. Soon, there is a bloody battle on the streets, with flying drones shooting at people as well as street robots that blow up buildings. Some rebels even jumped from the roofs to bring down the robots. As the entire area starts to blow up, the robots see a scared little boy who is only trying to save himself with a knife in his hand. However, the robot scanner identifies the knife as a threat and instantly kills the boy. Despite all this, Novik doesn't change his thoughts and tries to justify the robot's actions, saying they are good for the city's security. Meanwhile, at the police station, Detective Alex visits his boss, who wants an explanation for the incident that his coworkers are blaming him for. Alex explains everything, including how he and his best friend met some criminals the night before to do an undercover operation. They tricked a dealer into revealing several illegal weapons and they immediately arrested him. However, when Alex goes to check the evidence locker, the guns they had taken were missing and no one had signed the papers, which means a dirty cop removed them. Alex then goes undercover again with his partner and meets the gang boss in a restaurant. However, their meeting gets interrupted when the leader receives a call alerting him that Alex is a cop. The leader immediately leaves the building and sends people to kill the cops, causing a gunfight all over the place. The two officers quickly shot back, but were outnumbered. Soon, they noticed a gap and tried to escape through the back alley. Alex runs away without any problem, but sadly, his best friend gets shot in the process. After listening to the story, Alex's boss scolds him for leaving without any backup and says she will search out the dirty cop. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., Omnicorp CEO Sellers is trying to convince the government that robot cops are a good idea, but the senator turns him down again. Later, at Omnicorp's headquarters, Sellers meets with his team to discuss strategies for making the public accept robots on the streets. Since the senators keep mentioning the fact that robots are emotionless, he concludes that they must fuse a real human with a machine. Meanwhile, at a special clinic, Dr. Norton is helping his patient adjust to his new hands. Norton specializes in robotic prosthetics that work with their own emotions. Thus, in order for the patient to play the guitar, he must learn to focus on his mechanical hands. This requires him to let go of his previous expectations and embrace the unique connection he now has with technology. Sellers interrupts the practice and talks with Norton in private. They convince him to create a human-machine hybrid. Norton meets with Sellers' team to go over their options, since all of the retired police officers have had wounds for too long, and now they are so emotionally traumatized to return to work. They need to find a fresh case. The rude coworkers of Alex turn out to be dirty cops, and they warn the gang boss that the police are after him. In order to end this investigation, they need to do something. Later, while Alex is visiting his best friend at the hospital, a criminal sets a bomb under his car. In the evening, Alex returns home and spends time with his wife Clara and his son David. As he gets busy, he hears his car's alarm go off and walks outside to check. As soon as he gets closer to the car, it explodes, which causes him severe injuries. As soon as Omnicorp learns about this incident, they invite Clara to their headquarters to make an offer. They will provide Alex with a completely new mechanical body so he can continue living. Clara feels hesitant, but then they explain everything in detail about all of Alex's wounds. They warn her that if she doesn't make a decision now, Alex will die soon. Clara has no choice but to accept it. After 3 months, Alex is seen happily dancing with his wife at a house party, but then things soon start to go wrong. The scientists reveal a new form of Alex, which is 90% mechanical with a human brain, and he is gradually recalling his memories. When he finally wakes up, Alex gets upset and confused, so Norton explains what happened to him and helps him take his first few steps, but the body feels too weird. As he hears the word amputee, Alex freaks out and demands to remove the suit. Norton tries to calm him down, but he pushes him violently. Then he leaves the building, pushing everyone who tries to stop stop him. His running speed is incredible, and he can effortlessly jump over the building's surrounding wall. When he starts to jump again, Norton eventually shuts him down remotely. After a while, Alex wakes up at the lab again. Norton removes the robotic parts to show him that only a few biological organs are left of him, so there's no way out. Norton says it's the only way to save him, but Alex believes that death is better than a machine and asks the doctor to cut the connection. Norton tells him that Clara requested the procedure and that his family is waiting for him, so he must do it for her. To prove this, Norton asks Alex to call Clara. Clara thinks he's still quite handsome and is eager to see him again. Now that Alex agrees to cooperate, he spends the night at the lab. His body goes through maintenance. The following day, he goes with Rick to get some training. He is the military guy in charge of managing Omnicorp's robotics army in the field. He believes that human involvement in the project is only a waste of time because the robots are already perfect. But still, he gives weapons to Alex so that he can keep them in his special leg compartments. They put Alex and a robot through a simulation where they have to kill criminals and save civilians. As everyone rushes around performing the rescues with no difficulty, Rick's predictions come true. Alex is slower than the machines, as the machines just judge and shoot, whereas Alex takes some time to feel and then takes action. Later in the evening, when Alex is alone, he uses a computer to monitor the track of the gang leader case. The following day, Sellers is extremely disappointed by the simulation's results and furiously orders Norton to fix this problem. He also believes that Alex needs to look better for marketing purposes, so he asks for a better tactical suit for Alex. Later, in the lab, the doctors do brain surgery on Alex for some modifications so that he thinks he has free will, but in reality, the machine is doing all the thinking. Alex gets a whole new armor, which has a sleek, black look. Later, they take Alex to an abandoned building for another test, where he has to defeat Rick and an army of robots all alone. He uses his visor to scan the area, and with amazing reflexes, Alex is immediately assessing the situation and taking action. He shoots all robots without any hesitation. When he is getting shot, he quickly finds cover, protecting himself from any harm. When all the robots are shot and only Rick remains, Alex fires at his exoskeleton armor to win. He never realizes the machine is making the decisions, and all of his reaction times are flawless, so the experiment is considered a success. After some time, Norton brings Alex home so he can see his family. He feels nervous and finds courage to face them, but when Clara sees him, she immediately hugs him. David is cautious at first, but as he touches his armor, he says that he is happy to see him and that he's been recording some games to watch with him. Sadly, he is unable to stay as he has to spend the night at the lab for maintenance. As Alex returns to the lab, he finds his best friend, who has finally recovered, and he swears to find those who have hurt him. After a few days, Sellers is excited to present Alex to the world in a big event, so Norton starts transferring all the crime and criminal files from 2011. Additionally, Alex gets access to all of the cameras in the city. This amount of data is too much for a human brain to process, and when Alex watches the video of his car exploding, he gets a seizure and passes out. Norton thinks there is no need to hold a press conference today, but the Omnicorp team insists Norton to fix the problem. As he has no choice, he sends everyone out except for his assistant and suppresses Alex's feelings, making him act like an emotionless robot. Now they can easily transfer the entire data to his brain. When they go to the presentation, he focuses on his duty and ignores his wife and friends. He only sees faces as threats or citizens, not as his loved ones. As soon as he gets on stage, his scanner starts scanning every face in the crowd until he spots a criminal 2 steps away from the police. He instantly jumps into the crowd and takes him in a matter of seconds without hurting anyone, and people start admiring Alex. On TV, Novik uses this incident to prove that robots are better, as the police had been standing close to a criminal and they couldn't even notice. But Clara is very upset because neither David nor she can speak with Alex. In fact, they're not letting him have a life at all. Norton assures her that this is only a medication side effect and that he will recover soon. The next day, when Alex goes to work at the station, he announces that he will find 13 criminals today. He gets a bike and uses his access to the database and the cameras to locate a gang of dealers. Some of the groups manage to escape, but Alex catches a dealer and threatens him until he reveals where his base of operations is. Later, Alex finds an illegal kitchen and enters the building on his bike. He shoots all of the criminals without taking any damage. Even when they try to attack from behind, Alex's scan detects them and shoots them easily. Omnicorp people are happy happy with the results, and Sellers gives complete access to Rick to monitor Alex in case anything goes wrong. As the days go by, Alex becomes the hero of the city, stopping crimes everywhere. Making much of it, Novik invites Sellers to his show to tell the senator that the American people are gradually changing their minds. When the senator starts protesting against it, he is cut off. In the meantime, the gang boss meets with the dirty cops to make a plan to handle Alex, who is giving them a hard time. Later on, Clara runs through traffic to finally approach Alex and asks him to express some feeling. She asks him to do something for his family because his son is experiencing night seizure and needs his father. At first, Alex doesn't seem to be affected, but as he leaves, he starts acting like the robotic police officer he is. He goes through security footage and finds out that David saw the car explosion, which traumatized him. After knowing about his son, he gets so upset, and his brain gradually reverses Norton's attempt to remove his feelings. He feels guilty that his family has been suffering because of him, and he wants to make things right. At the lab, people notice this change in Alex's tracker and consider shutting him off, but Norton wants to see what happens because Alex is actually trying to solve his own crime case. Alex returns home and takes the data from all the cameras to recreate the day of the attack. He sees his son and wife at the moment he got exploded. He uses the few hints he has and goes to find a man who worked with the gang leader. He takes him out of the car through the window and breaks his hand. He steps on it to hurt more. Then the criminal provides him the leader's driver number. He locates the exact location of the gang's base by triangulating the signal from his last call. Alex reaches there. The station's police officers find out that he is out there investigating his own crime, and the gang boss soon finds out that Alex is coming for him. When Alex arrives at the base, the criminals are already prepared to face him in the dark with heavy weapons and night vision goggles. Alex breaks in on his bike and turns on his night vision and starts a gunfight. Regardless of how many criminals there are or how many times they shoot, Alex has no trouble shooting anyone who gets in his way walking through the base, leaving no one alive. However, this time he suffers some damage in the process. Alex then switches the power on and collects samples of all the fingerprints found on the weapons, which finally reveals which cops are dirty. Alex reaches at the police station to interrogate the man and play incriminating video on all the screens. One dirty cop tries to attack on Alex and he instantly shoots back to defend himself. The other man gets terrified and reveals that it was their boss who planned everything, but Alex shoots him anyway. Later, Alex goes up to her boss and tries to make her confess, but Rick shuts him down. Rick calls Sellers to tell him that they can exploit this, and Novik soon puts the incident on his show, proving that robots are better than people since they cannot be bought. The next day, the government starts voting in favor of replacing the local police with robots. However, Clara cuts off the broadcast and finally goes on the news to tell everyone that she hasn't been allowed to see her husband and that no one from Omnicorp responds to her calls. Sellers fears that Clara's involvement will restore Alex's humanity and they will lose control on him, which will end up costing them legal trouble. If they let him go, people will think that their experiments are not good, so they plan to kill him so the people will remember him as a hero. Sellers orders Norton to complete the task, but furious Norton refuses to do it. Sellers changes his mind by offering him 10 years of financing to his laboratory. Eventually, Norton agrees, but only if Sellers provides for Alex's family too. Sellers then orders Rick to prepare his robots. While the senators approve the law, Sellers meets David and Clara, telling them that Alex has already died. When Norton gets back to the lab, he sees that soldiers are already there, demanding to see Alex. He runs away as they start shooting at him. Norton goes to Alex first and presses a button so that Sellers believes Alex is dead, but Alex still wakes up. It turns out that Norton took away his transmitter so no one has access to his vitals or turn him off ever again. Later, Alex instantly kills both soldiers. Norton reveals the entire plan to Alex, and Alex decides to kill Sellers, ignoring Norton's attempts to stop him. Rick notices Alex riding his bike through the streets and informs Sellers, who was going to announce Alex's death on stream. His guards immediately take him, David and Clara, to the roof to wait for a rescue helicopter. In the meantime, Norton goes to the police to find Alex's best friend and ask for his help. At that time, Alex arrives at the Omnicorp headquarters and finds it surrounded by guards and Rick's robots. Alex kills a guard in a second, and others quickly surrender. He then enters the building and starts fighting with other robots. Robots have better armor than normal criminals, so Alex finds it difficult to fight the robots. He keeps on getting hit by powerful bullets. When he tries to stop a robot robot by jumping on it. It just throws him away and Alex gets stuck under some debris. Alex somehow frees himself, but because of his injured leg he cannot run fast, and the robot starts shooting at him from behind. A police truck then bursts into the building and Alex's best friend comes in front of him, stopping the robot's shooting because police officers are considered safe in the system. Alex now gets the opportunity to run from the back corridor. Within the building, Alex finds Rick and tries to shoot him, but Rick is identified as non-threatening by the system, so Alex is unable to hurt him. Rick enjoys giving Alex warning bullets, and just before he's about to shoot him, finally Alex's best friend shows up and shoots Rick, but Rick also gets shot in the process. Alex rushes to see his friend. Fortunately, the wound is not fatal, so they have to wait for the ambulance. Alex then goes to the roof, and the helicopter spots him there and takes off, leaving the group behind. Since Sellers is also programmed as non-threatening, Sellers is certain that Alex cannot attack him. However, when he witnesses Alex defying his programming, Sellers makes a last-minute attempt to kill Clara and David. This becomes worse because Alex's love for his family gives him the strength to finally overcome his programming and shoot Sellers, but Sellers shoots back. Sellers dies on the spot. Alex falls on the ground and his family rushes to check on him, and he tells them that he's okay. After a while, Norton returns the prototype body to Alex and tells him that he may now spend time with his family. Meanwhile, TV reporters show that the government is now more certain that robots shouldn't be allowed on the streets, and now the law is cancelled, especially when Norton confesses that everything he did was wrong. Novik gets upset and rants in front of the camera, reminding everyone that America is still the greatest country in the world, and the movie ends. Subscribe to watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next plot. Goodbye.